Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Woo, I'm Stacy, and today we're gonna do a little haul video. I did a little bit of online shopping and a little bit of dollar store shopping, and picked up a few things that I wanted. Well, this is all wanted. This is not needed. I didn't need any of this stuff. It's just desired things. I went to the dollar store for more of the mica powders that I found there, and I'll show you that in a second. Let's just sort this out. So I gave my daughter my bigger squirt bottle. So I only have this little dude, which is great, but not enough. So I picked this one up from the dollar store. It's not as nice as the other one that I had, but this size is appropriate. And dollar store, everything is $1.25, between $1.25 and $5. So it's like a $5 below now instead of a dollar store. I think it's still called the Dollar Tree though, which is fine, whatever. So I got that to, utilize, set that up there out of the way. I'm gonna scooch all this stuff over because this is actual art things. I'm gonna just let's just move that over there. Start with the dollar store stuff. Those cups, I've wanted a couple of these for a while. I've been using just miscellaneous jars for my water cups for years, and I see people using these collapsible cups all the time, different variations, and I found these at the dollar store, and I was like, hey, those are like the same thing that's like almost $10 at this point on Amazon, and they're just collapsible cups, and I like this because you can set your brush across the top. I like that feature so much. So I grabbed two because I always have two water jugs out, usually one for light colors and one for dark colors, or I try to do clean water and dirty water, but that very rarely works out for me. So I got two of them. I got green and I think the other one's supposed to be gray, but I like this the soft green. They're silicone, they collapse down, so if they get in my way, I can collapse them down. I can bring them with if I want to, out and about. These were made in China. They say so right there on the bottom. Patent pending. Funny. But yeah, and there's little like brush holders for your tiny brushes. If you wanted, you could use those to hold your brushes. I don't keep wet brushes in a vertical position because it deteriorates the glue. I always dry them flat and then stand them in my cups over here. So I probably won't use those, but you can use them for hooks, like if you want to hook this on your bag. So I got two of those. And then this is the mica powder that I found at the dollar store. Ooh, hold on, let me grab the things that I made with them. Hold on. I'm scooping them off the counter. So I made clay things, and I used the mica powder. I haven't put the resin on these yet, to decorate with on the surfaces of the clay. This clay I dyed purple with my Dr. P.H. Martin's India ink. It was white, and it's just Sculpey clay. And I used the mica powder to decorate all of these. I made a flower. This was just an impromptu little flower that I made. And then I had a lump of leftover clay. So I made this little dude. I haven't cleaned any of these up yet. Little, I don't know, chocolate chip. I don't even know. It's just a little cute dude. And then I made a dragonfly right here. And I put some jewels on them, and I'm going to resin them. And then I'm going to make them into magnets. The first batch that I made, Astrid stole. But I'm going through these little mica powders pretty quickly. I'll find the bin I put them in. Oh, right, I put them over here. So I have these ones, and I was at the dollar store, and I'm going through them pretty quick. So I figured I would grab another pack of each one. And there's quite a bit in each one, right? And it's a nice color selection, fairly decent anyways. So I got those. And then in my clay stuff, I need a cutter or a chopper or something to lift clay off of my work surface. I've been using this, which is effective, but I needed something with a little more of a wide edge that would get underneath the lip. That's a little rough edged there. I'll have to be careful to scoop up my clay. And I saw people using a flexible, this is a little bit flexible. I got this at the dollar store. I mean, I know it's for food and bread and stuff and whatnot, but it'll do, right? So this is the Cooking Concepts brand. $1.25. Man, go to your dollar store, you guys. So I have this for to add to my clay tools. And then, move my flowers and my little dewdrop out of the way. I needed one of those Lazy Susans for lifting my clay up off the surface of the table, and I used so when I was working, and this was also for painting my son's 3D models that he's doing. I'm painting those for him as well. I used the clipboard with a little piece of paper on top, stacked on top of one of my, I emptied out one of my pencil displays, and that gave me enough, work surface to spin my stuff while I'm working. I want to get a tile from the hardware store to put on top, but I need to measure this and see how wide it is, because I'd like to just set a tile on top of this to work with my clay and pull it up off the surface a little bit so that I'm not bending over to work. And then also when I'm painting, and you could do it the other way as well, you could flip this upside down and put that on top, and it would still spin maybe? Nope, it sure won't, because this part needs to make contact with the table to spin. Alright, so I lied. It has to be this way to spin. This one's not spinning very well. This one spins better. Is there something in the way? I'll figure it out. This comes apart. Maybe this screw needs to be loosened just a bit. It might be a touch too tight. That's probably what there we go. At any rate, I got 2 of those for that purpose. They have these at the dollar store. There's a bunch of this size, and there's a bunch of the actual pencil ones that I use. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 for like all my markers and colored pencils and my gel stick things. But this would be good for also for your paints, if you put them on your desk, right? I like the Lazy Susan thing. It's a whole thing. It's a whole situation. So there's those. So there's all these items that I got from the dollar store to add to my stash of things and kind of elevate my workflow a little bit. And then from Amazon, I want to round out my my watercolor palettes that I have. So my Daniel Smith and my I have out my Daniel Smith and my Mission Gold and my M. Graham palettes. They're over on the table over there. And I've been starved for new art supplies. I've been just like actual art supplies. And so I got some paints, and I got a new ink pen. This is a brush one, and I've been wanting a really nice brush pen because I used up my last one and it was not refillable. So I picked up, and I have these fake nails on, so there we go. Opening things is problematic. There we go. I got this Pentel brush pen. I don't think it says Pentel on here, but when I purchased it said Pentel. Oh, there it is. It's on the refills. Pentel. Comes with a couple of refills, and then the refill pack of like 10 is like $5 or $6 on Amazon, so I could get another 10 of these, and it comes, does it come with one in it? No, it does not. See, and I don't know how to do this. I'm going to assume it goes this way. Yep, that feels right. And then you just twist it shut. And I love working with an actual brush pen. Why is it not twisting shut? Do I need to really shove it together? Yes. There we go. Gotta give it a little push, a little muscle. And then pop that off. And this is synthetic hairs, right? Yeah. I don't know if I'll like that. Well, I'm gonna try it. So in synthetic hairs, oh, I don't know how long it's gonna take to fill. Hopefully I did that right. Did I do that right? Did I break it already? All right. Well, moving on. I'm gonna set that upside down in there. So I got that, and you guys can let me know if I broke it already. Did I break it already? No, I'm just being impatient and I'm gonna make a mess. Okay. Per usual, I make a big mess all the time. Okay, so I got paints. I wanted to round out my, looking for scissors, sorry, my Danielle Smith and my M. Graham palettes to include the paints that I've had on my wait list for a while. My want list to just fill in the blanks for me in my palettes. Oh, these have little, it's just easier to cut it. Tip that out. Oh, and then my, that's a really big tube. In my M. Graham palette, I also have my Schminky Hordam granulating colors because I love them. And I use them kind of a lot, and I wanted to round those out as well a little bit. And I was thinking that I didn't have a lot of colors for my Danielle Smith palette, and I have all the colors that I wanted previously. I already bought them. The iridescence and the, what do you call it? The, I'll just grab them real quick. So, sorry, this is, I almost dropped them. That would be terrible. I cleaned these all up. Night before last, I was just sitting and I was online surfing the web. This is my Danielle's, or my M. Graham palette, which I also have my Hordam Galaxy set. This is the only set that I have of these granulating paints. I want all of them, but they're a little expensive, so I figured I'll buy a tube at a time, but only of the colors that I want, because if I could have tried these first before, like, that's not really an option, but to try them before you buy them. The blue I wouldn't have gotten, the Galaxy Blue. I'd have gotten all the rest though, but look, they come in these tiny little tubes with the set, and the set I think is like $56. If you don't buy the wooden box, if you get them in the wooden box, they're like 80 plus per set. But this, if you get them in this little box, it's a little sampler so that you can tell, like 5 milliliter tubes. And I used up the black. Like, the black is gone. There's only a teensy, itsy bitsy bit left. Look at that. Little bit left. And the other ones I've used quite a lot as well, and I have like one more load of each color for my palette, and I want to fill that up. I have my Sennelier indigo in here as well, and then these two liquid pencils are in here as well. I'm not sure why they're in here. They shouldn't be, but they are. So these are all my tubes of M. Graham paint. And all of them are in my palette except for Pyrrole and Phthalo. I don't care for the Phthalo green and I don't care for the Pyrrole red, or I didn't before. So I'm considering popping these in my palette, not filling the wells, but just a little bit, and testing them out and doing like, I also have a little bit of Sennelier yellow left. I haven't bought Sennelier colors because I bought the M. Graham palette. So I've been doing this since 2019, watercoloring again. Since 2019, watercolor was introduced to my soul and I fell in love. And I started out with Sennelier sampler set. And it came with yellow, red, blue. And I like indigo, so I got indigo at some point. And I got the student grade Sennelier palette that's still available. I'll link them down below so that you guys can see what I started with and what I loved. I loved my Sennelier student grade palette. It was beautiful. I used it up to the point where I wasn't going to use it anymore, and I paid it forward. I gave it to my grandchildren and they used it, you know, to death. So, which is how things go. So this is my M. Graham palette, and in my M. Graham palette, I have all of these colors, and when I mapped out my palette, I saved room for other colors because I would like to get more of the granulating colors to put in here. And then I wanted Indian yellow, azo green, and cobalt violet. So I have now azo green, violet, and Indian yellow, which are all new. These are new to me colors for M. Graham. The violet I've had before. I just never replaced it. The tube dried up on me, and does that have a hole in it? I'm going to be so upset if this one's dried out as well. It's the favorite color. I love the mineral violet. Nope, we're good. And trying desperately not to squeeze it. And that will round out my colors selection that I have in here right now. Now my guide for color selections for my M. Graham palette is Steve at Mind of Watercolor. That's his channel. I've watched him go through a lot of these colors on his channel, and he introduced me to M. Graham as a selection for when I stepped up from student grade to professional grade watercolors. So I cleaned up my palette, but I want to refill some of the wells and see my black. I have almost no Mars black left. None. So I bought the big one. It was $17, I think. Now I gotta look. Sorry. A paint is expensive, so instead of buying yet another like big $100, $200, $400 palette of colors, I'm gonna use the beautiful paints that I already own, and instead of buying new stuff, the Galaxy Violet is almost gone as well. That's the other one that I wanted to get another tube of, but not this round. I've got enough in here to fill this well. So that'll probably be the next one that I purchased. I did use the Galaxy Blue quite a lot. It's worn down, but nowhere near as much as these two. The Galaxy Brown is a very nice color. It's right here. I put it next to my Potter's Pink. So, and the Galaxy Rose is a favorite as well. So we have a bunch of Galaxy colors in here. So I got those to round out this palette and, you know, make it the way I want it to be. And I think I'm going to do some color study, like a color study, what do you call it? Playlist, a series. And I'm gonna really study my colors and what they do and don't do for me so that I can better purchase in the future. And then I need to find someone to pay it forward to, because there are colors that I don't like and I don't want them to go to waste. So there's that. So that's the M. Graham palette. And then I got two Daniel Smith colors that I've been wanting to try for quite a while. I was online searching my little heart out. And I was looking at buying this and this. Again, I already own them. But my swatch guide that I have is not updated at all for any of my purchases that I've made over the course of the last few years. So when I pulled that out to see what I needed to purchase, I was like, I think I bought these. I know I did. Didn't I? And so I grabbed out my palettes, and then that's when I decided I'm gonna, instead of buying a whole new palette of colors, I'm gonna round out the palettes that I have. So this is my Daniel Smith palette. I put my Daniel Smith sticker on here so that I don't have an M. Graham sticker. I should make one. And then in this palette, and I wrote on the back when I purchased my paints. So I've had my Essentials set, that's this one, and my Shimmering set, and Potter's Pink, and Bronzite Genuine since 2013 of July. And then in 2025, this month, I bought Moon Glow and Undersea Green because I like a nice sap green and I don't want to always have to mix it. So let me see what frame I am here. Okay, good. So in this mix, I have a lot of blues right here. I have my Sennelier Indigo in here as well because I love indigo and I like to have a selection of indigos. It's a whole situation at this point. And then I have that graphite gray in here. Which I do not think is a... I think it's this. Liquid pencil. That's yellow and blue, so that's not it. I don't know what this where this graphite gray came from. It's interesting. Alright, so in this set, that's what it looks like. And I only have this green, which is Viridian, which I don't like. I don't like the Viridian green. These are all my tubes that I have. Thank goodness. Yeah, this is Viridian. There's only a tiny little bit of Viridian left. Viridian and I struggle. We struggle! And then next to the Viridian green, I have my two dual colors, which is the green and the mauve, which are beautiful colors. When you get them down, the green gets some, as you can see, some browns in it. And the purple, I don't remember what the purple duo, I think it's purple blue. It looks more purple than blue in here, and this looks more green than brown, but that's what the colors live there, and I have big tubes of those. And then the Bronzite Genuine, I love. That lives here. It's granulating. It's very nice. And then the Potter's Pink I saw used online a lot, so I got a big tube of that, and it's right there. And these are all the tubes I got outside of the set in art boxes. I got... This is a Rose of Ultramarine. This is a... Love that color. Look at that. Using it up. Indigo. Almost empty. Apatite Genuine. It's a little bit viscous. It's snotty to me, which is a texture I don't like. And then the Mayan Blue Genuine is okay. This one's very viscous and snotty, and this one's kind of a close second. I don't really care for that one as well, but I am using it up. Viridian I'm using up, but I wanted Undersea Green and Moon Glow. I've seen Moon Glow used so much on so many channels, and I'm like, oh, I would love that color. So I got that one as well. And then I got this one in an art box, which is over here. I cut up a bunch of it and put it over. Oh, that's what the graphite gray is. It's this stick, which you can use as a stick. You can wet it and draw with it. And I saw a bunch of these, which are much less expensive to get them like this than to get a tube of paint. These last longer, and you can cut a piece off and put them in your palette, but I find that they re-wet. They re-wet fine. I want this to smash down a bit, so I keep spraying it with water to break it down. So that's what that one is. I got that in an art box. I need another one of these. Rose of Ultramarine. I use that one a lot. But that's what I decided to do, was to pick up colors, these two colors that I don't have in my palette. So let's put all these guys back. To kind of round things out. I'm going to put my greens here, and then the Moon Glow is probably going to live here next to the Graphite Gray. Now, my iridescence I have down here. I put the white one over here. It didn't feel right over here. So I'll do a video of me freshening up my palettes. Hopefully you guys are interested in that. We'll do a Daniel Smith freshen, and then we'll do an M. Graham freshen of these palettes. So those are the reasons I got those colors. I also have these dot cards, which I played with and then put away. So I have the Daniel Smith dot cards. I went through and wet them all, and then I haven't used any of them. So I'm gonna leave these out as well to play with. I'm gonna get a little tray to just tuck them in for the desk so that they can just stay out. Oh yeah, I was looking up the price of the stuff that I purchased already. Let's see. Let's see, view order details. There we go. That'll give me the individual prices of what I ordered. The small tubes of Daniel Smith were the Moon Glow. The Undersea Green was $10.48 or $9.48, and the Moon Glow, where are you? Was $10.19. So that's not bad. $10 for the small tube, and these will fill my palettes up at least 2.5 times. So that's nice long wear, and it takes me obviously a long time to get through paints. I've had these palettes for years. M. Graham, I bought the intermediate 10 color set, the neutral tint, and the cobalt set of 5 in April of 2019, and I still, guys, I use this palette all the time, and I still have not put a decent dent in any of those tubes. And then I got the quinacridone set of 5 in March. That was my first set of this paint, just to see if I liked them, and I loved them, so I got all the others the following month. And back then, these sets were much less expensive. They were in the $50 range, and right now they're in the $80 range. It's just to give you an idea of how the escalating prices of these kinds of things. And I did that comparison lookup for this video so that you guys would know what that looks like monetarily for everybody. Oh, I also picked up these. So the M. Graham colors, I got Mineral Violet was $15.96 plus tax. Azo Green for M. Graham was $14.89 for the tube, and then the Indian Yellow was $15.76. So I spent a total of $137 on that stuff, plus these two browns that I bought. Look at the plastic. Oh, the Schminky Hordem, that was my most expensive tube of paint that I bought. Was $17.37. The Schminky one, but it's a big tube. Like, it's going to take me a hot minute to go through this, right? It's an investment in a paint that I love. And then I've been wanting to try Watercolor Ground in my mixed media work for a while now, and I've just been avoiding buying it. I have purchased a medium. I have this and this. I have matte medium. I have the modeling paste for Liquitex. It's acrylic. You can use it with your other mediums. I mix and match all the time. You just have to remember that it's an acrylic ground, so it's going to dry quickly, probably. So that's one thing that I play with. And then this is matte fluid medium. I use this for my collage work. So these are the two mediums that I have so far. And I decided I would get the Watercolor Ground, and I saw the white, and this is transparent, sorry, transparent Watercolor Ground. So I think you can mix different colors with this, right? That's my thought, is to mix a beautiful color that I want for background on something that is not necessarily watercolor surface, like this guy. I put a background on him, right? And I love this. So I thought I would love to do watercolor on this, but it's not going to stick because it's not a watercolor surface. It's too slick. So I got this one, and then I saw the gold, and I was like, oh, they have gold? And I'm like, I can't even not. It's iridescent gold. I gotta open it. Let's open it. Ooh. Look at how beautiful. Oh my goodness. That's just, and they have silver as well. I don't want to waste this, so I'm gonna gently place this back down and scrape it in. Haha, good job. Look at me go. Scrape that in there, like so. Look at that. I'm tempted to keep this as a protective, like, barrier. I won't. But look at that. Look how beautiful. And I can't not play with it, you guys. So excited. I don't have any water over here either. Look at that. I wonder, see, that would probably look really nice underneath. And I like how that orange is popping through. Excuse me. And underneath here is gouache. I don't have acrylic paint. Well, I do, but it's in those little bottles, and it's for my son's models and for like clay work. But I will use gouache for my clay work as well, because I'm going to put a resin over the top of my clay work, so I'm not worried about, I don't know if you need like a even smooth, I haven't played with this stuff at all, it's new to me, I'm so excited. So I'm just going to do half of this and see how that dries. I don't want to waste it though. See how it looks dry? And then we can put some, whoopsie, some of the white. Look at that, glorious. God, I love new art supplies so much. But I've been jonesing for new art supplies, right? And I made a promise at the beginning of the year that I would use the art supplies I have this year. And I have, not as much as I want to, but I have. I'm going to put some white down here and see how clear, transparent it dries. My curiosity is definitely piqued at this point. Hopefully you guys are not bored. So I decided I'm going to get because I've been using pretty steadily my beam paints, because I got them last year for Christmas for myself, and I love them so much. But I also love my Daniel Smith colors, and I love my Grams, and I haven't really played enough with my Magello set, my Mission Gold Magellos. So we have gold and clear. Let's put the covers back on these. I don't know how quickly they dry, and I don't want them to become, you know. But you can definitely put, supposedly you can put this ground on pretty much any surface to make it a watercolor surface to paint on. So say you have just a regular white canvas and you put some gesso on it and you want watercolor on your canvas, ta-da! But it doesn't work exactly like watercolor paper, because watercolor paper is super absorbent. This stuff, from what I understand, just creates like a tooth, a watercolory kind of tooth. So let's just see how it works. Let's see how it works. I also have, well, Astrid and I created this background together. I envision some sort of sea animal on here. So I'm probably going to put Watercolor Ground on that as well. Let me rinse this brush off really quickly. Oh, water right there. Give it a quick rinse. Put that down. And then I bought one last thing. So it's not, this isn't like a paint with me or anything like that video. This is supposed to be a haul video. I got one last thing to add to my clay. Let me move this out of the way. We'll let this dry and I'll show it to you at the end of the video what we got. And I don't know if you need to let it dry naturally or not. No clue. If you can like hit it with a heat tool, I gotta do research. Oh yeah, I've been making clay things, and I would like to make some smaller pins. So I got a bunch of different, like a sample set of pin backs, just to so I can see what I like and don't like. I mean, so you get a little bit of each, right, in the different sizes. Where those scissors go? All these fake nails on, so this is just easier to do with scissors. Shake that out. So we have the silver pin backs. So you would put this into your clay, right? And then, come on. Can I have it, please? I have these fake nails. Swear to God. Oh, there we go. So this one gets glued to the back of your clay, the little divot, this little dude. And then this is your gripper, which is locking, so that's cool. The ones that don't lock, I've had those in the past, and I use them to like stick stuff on my bags, to pin my pins onto my bags, and the back will pop off the pin. And my pin's gone because I didn't realize I shoved something in the bag and knocked the pin back off. And now my pin that I love is gone. I've lost quite a few pins that way. Open. Thank you. So I got gold and silver. And I think they're all the same size. Ooh. I don't know why they didn't just put them all in the same envelope. That's just silly. Right? These are the same color. Oh, they're different sized backers. Oh, that's good to know, right? What size backer you do and don't like. Nice. And this is just personal preference, right? Some people like this kind of pin, and then some people like this kind of pin. And this I feel like is best for clothing. Like if you're going to put it on, even a bag, honestly, I would prefer this if you could get a small enough, you know, size. These are going to go in one of my bins, these bins that I have for this kind of stuff over here, which I have not shown you guys yet. So there's those, and then I have all the different sizes and colors of these ones as well. And they all came in one set. Those are nice and big. You can sew them on or you can glue them on. That's what the holes are for, is for sewing. And I've done lots of craft projects over the years, tons and tons of different things. Since I was a kid, I've always been creative. So, and then I got like this dark gray. I love that. I'm a silver girl for sure. For like my jewelry, I like sterling silver is my favorite, or rose gold is a secondary choice. But this dark, I love this. I don't think it's supposed to be black. It looks like more like a slate or smoke gray to me. Looking for the thing. I'm trying to use up my nails that I bought. I bought a big set of them. on Amazon like a year and a half ago, a big box, like with 700 and something nails in it, fake nails. So we have the different back sizes for all the colors. So I have pink and this periwinkle on today, and they're not my favorite. They're definitely not my favorite colors at all. But my grandkids all like them. Lucy May was super excited when I got there yesterday. It's the first thing she noticed. I said, ooh, pink! Ooh, pink, ooh, purple. Pink and purple. I was like, yes, honey, pink and purple. And she likes to feel them and touch them and pull on them. This just does not want to open. There we go. So there's a smaller silver size. If you line them up like that. It's got 2 holes instead of 3. So I got a bunch of different sizes. And again, for me, this is like a sampler set. There's the big silver ones. And then I've got gold and like this antique color, which I like this. This is personal preference. I love silver once again, but for jewelry things, I don't know, I've been really digging the antique feel. Maybe it's my age. Turned 54, I'm like, I love antique things. So weird. It's a weird thing to say, lady. I know. I'm an odd duck. What can I say? Come on out. You can do it. See, that's why I don't leave things in packets like this, because it's coming crazy. So I'm going to put small ones in one bin, and then I'm going to sort them by size. And then the big ones will be in another bin. So that's how I'm going to sort these, just by size. I think that's more than enough for me, for just, because I'm prone to dump things out on the table and dig out what I want and then scoop it back into the container. And these are the small silvers. And we're getting what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of these. And I don't know if that's how many are in the big packets. So there's big and small. So that once again, I can figure out what I do and don't like. So the big ones, we get 2, what? 4, 6, 8. 8 and 12. It's a weird breakup, but I get it. It's the size discrepancy, right? Either way I do it, it just takes too long for my impatience at this point in my life. My whole life. So dramatic. So there's the size 2. Oh, all right, well, apparently we got teensy itsy bitsy ones too. All right. That size, this size, and this size. So those are the sizes we're getting. Cool. So itsy bitsy. So not so bitsy and bitsy. Instead of medium, large, and small. We're in the bitsy sizes. This is like super shiny. I'm not digging it at all. I'm not a gold person though. That's just my it's beautiful in my art, but not to wear. Just not a personal preference of mine. So those are the little bitty ones in that. So I hope this wasn't boring. We're gonna, I don't know if you're interested or not, but I'm gonna video it anyways. I'm gonna video upgrading and filling up my palettes and doing swatching, filling in the swatch boxes. I'm not gonna create all new swatches, swatch cards. I don't feel like they're messy enough that I need to do that. I mean, I have splattered some green, but that's fine. I feel like I'll get a nice swatch for those without having to redo the whole swatch card. And this is just 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. It's either Strathmore or Canson. I don't remember. Probably Strathmore because that's the brand I like. Canson's okay, but I prefer Strathmore. The Strathmore 400 series specifically. Which way are we doing this? There we go. There's our mediums of the gold, and then silver. Now, if I had to pick sizes and to put on the back of things, and I could only afford one color for the backs of creations, for the backs of pin creations, I would most likely pick this antique color or silver. I would not lean towards gold. Mostly doesn't matter because it's the back. Like, you're not going to see it unless you're putting it on and off. Unless I create some sort of design that is iridescent or see-through for a pin. I can't imagine doing that. For like a dream catcher, maybe. See, I like this. This is subtle. It doesn't hurt my eyes or my soul. And then next to that is the silver, and then next to that is the gold. So I lean more towards this end. This is too much for me. I think it's because it's yellow, a yellow gold. So I got all these pin backs. I think I prefer these because of the way they open and close. Super simple to open and close them. They hinge all the way out. You could sew them on or you can glue them on. These are strictly like glue on. I can't imagine you could sew that on the back of something. I do think I would like the bigger pedestal as opposed to the tiny pedestal. That part. But we'll see. We'll see. I imagine if I made something tiny, like super tiny like this, I would want maybe a small. But I can't imagine making something small like that and not being able to put this whole thing. Yeah, I like that better. I feel like it would be more sturdy, right? To either glue on or embed into the clay. That's my instinct, is to embed it into the clay, but then how would you bake it, right? So, something to think about. So, say we wanted to make this into a brooch, be a really big brooch, but I would put something like this on the back of there. Maybe the medium. Glue that on. Nope, that would have to be a small. So, good thing I got different sizes. So if I wanted to put this on the back on a bag or something, I would use something like this because it's not necessarily going to catch and pop the back off. It's gonna keep that on, right? And these are locking, so you're probably pretty safe with these, but I've had these fail before. So yeah. Does anybody like my flower? I can't wait to resin it and make it all glistening. So the mica powder is super fun to use, and I've been watching videos of people using the mica powder to paint and decorate their clay creations, and then you put the resin over the top and it makes it even more beautiful. So yeah, that's my haul, you guys. That's what I got. I got some new paints. I got some new new toys. Oh, let's check this guy. See if I broke him. Oh, yay! I didn't break him. We'll set this here. It's not quite dry. You can see it's still white. And I'm tempted. All right, first things first. Let's grab a piece of scrap paper. Scoot that over. Am I in frame? I think I'm in frame. Yeah. It's not all the way down yet. I'm gonna have to store this down. Tip down, you know? I'm not digging the flow right now. Press it down really good. The synthetic brush is not my favorite. But you can get some beautiful, super thin lines with, and I need to practice my control again. My control is shot. There it comes. There it comes. There it comes. I just need to be more patient. And this is not a Bristol paper. Ideally, you would use this on Bristol or some sort of smooth surface paper, marker paper, illustration board or illustration paper. You wouldn't want to use your ink pens like this on watercolor paper just because they absorb the ink, so much of it, so fast, and your pen dries out really fast. It's just a waste of your ink. But for demonstration purposes, you can get some really nice textures on your paper, nice lines, thick to thin to thick, which is great. Something I obviously need to practice. Thick to thin. And you can get some really fine lines. Yeah. And once again, better on like an illustration paper. So yeah, I'm gonna be in love with this thing. I already made a mess on it, so there's that. Excited. And then this right here, ugh, got some on my finger. Let's just detail it. And yes, this is 2 canvases stacked on each other. Digging the gold. And yeah, this dries nice and clear. See it disappearing as it dries. Nice. Super transparent. Cool. And I feel like the texture variant isn't something I'll be able to really see. Oops. Way too hot right there. Let's just let it dry naturally the rest of the way. So there's the difference in the colors. This one was a bit more dark brown, but you could tell there's gold on there. Kind of a smooth but gritty at the same time, and I love the gold on top of the orange. Yeah, all right. And when this dries completely, it'll be completely clear. So whatever like underpainting you do, or if you do like an ink drawing and you want to watercolor over the top of it on like an illustration paper or something, you could probably try to put this ground on there and then watercolor over the top of it. Something interesting to try. Let me know if you want to see that in a video. I'm probably going to do it anyways, but I have an ideas book that needs to be added to the ideas for videos list. I have ideas for clay. I'm going to skip a few pages and put ideas for watercolor. I got a book out for ideas because I keep having all these great ideas and I put them on a sticky note and they float around and I lose a sticky note. So painting ideas. And then watercolor ground over ink on. I have illustration paper and Bristol, so I'll put Bristol and illustration. That's an I. Paper. And that's one idea right there. Also, there was someone left in a comment that they'd like to see me do a pastel background to fix a watercolor pastel to fix a watercolor background that I don't like. So that'll be another one coming up. I actually have 2 paintings that I was not at all digging the background on, and I want to fix it. And one of the ways I fix it is to use my watercolor to fix it. Let's see, what do I want to use? Let's use my birds. These came in a grabby box. They're beautiful. Let's look at those. Beautiful. If you didn't see that video, do that. So I have clay ideas and I have watercolor ideas tabbed. And this just stays on my desk back here, so that when I have when I get stuck for an idea for painting, it's there. So let me know what you think of anything in the comments below. Look, I'm going to actually video doing the 2 palettes today. I'm probably going to put more gold on the rest of this one, and then put the clear on this one, and then we'll have a clear and a gold background. And I think I'm just going to write on the back of these gouache, background, orange, and then transparent, watercolor ground, for that one. And then this one will be the same gouache. I don't know why I'm writing is so big. Did I spell that right? Background, and then gold. Watercolor ground. And then we'll do a watercolor painting on top of each one and see how they look. And maybe I'll make it the same kind of painting. Maybe not the exact same thing, but yeah. I'll have to think about what I want to put on these. Any ideas, pop them in the comments that you'd like to see painted over the top of these colors, the gold orange and then the transparent with the orange. Ideas are welcome, you guys. So that's what I got. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to move on to the next project at hand. The other palette you will see coming up in videos will be my Mission Gold set of 26 pure pigments. I don't use this very often. I bought it back in 22. I have not had to refill any of this. Obviously the 2 colors that I use the most are the green gold and these colors up here, which are permanent yellow light and permanent yellow deep. And everything else is pretty even wear, with the exception of this Van Dyke brown for some reason. And then this turquoise blue is glorious. It also comes with a white and a black. I used the white quite a lot, actually. Wasn't expecting that at all. And then the black I've used sparingly. So these will all be coming up in videos that are coming up, because I'm leaving them out. I have to leave them out and write a plan of action so that I don't forget to use them. So yeah, all right, at any rate, that's what's happening. That's where we're at. That's what I bought. And that's what's coming up. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Bye!